1. I got a vent about this customer. I work front desk at a gym on the weekends. It's literally the best part-time job I've ever had. But yesterday I came in for my shift, and an older gentleman wearing an absolutely filthy with sweat t-shirt comes up to me and asks for recommendations for ab workouts. I knew he couldn't do most of the ab workouts I do, and I'm not a personal trainer by any means, so I showed him one, but recommended the treadmill to him and explained that I lost a lot of weight just from walking, and he was like, "Oh, okay, cool," and walked away. End of interaction, right? Wrong. Maybe 15-20 minutes later, he comes back up to me and complains that most of our treadmills don't work. It's not a fancy gym. I don't know what else to tell him, besides that our maintenance people have put in the request, etc. But he insists that I print out signs to put on every treadmill, even the ones that are obviously off. I print out the signs and he follows me to the treadmills, and just talks on and on about how they don't work. I'm still not thinking too much about it, besides that it's a little annoying. Then, towards the end of the night, he stayed for my entire shift. He came up to the front desk and just talked at me. Not creepy necessarily, and I could tell he's older, unpleasant, and most definitely lonely. He must have told me the same story about how he had to pass a stress test on Monday, and that's why he's working out like 5 times in one conversation. I'm polite, so I just smiled and tried to quell his anxiety about it, but something about him was starting to annoy me. Usually I love my shifts, they're peaceful, usually dead, relaxing even. But he was cornering me at the front desk where I literally cannot leave. I could not find a way to end this conversation, and it was driving me crazy. Finally, I texted my only coworker on shift and asked him to take over so I could go to the bathroom. This was after listening to this man for almost 40 minutes. Today, I came in for a workout before my shift, around 2:30. He was here, in the same outfit he was in yesterday, definitely unwashed. My friend suggested he may be unhoused, and I guess that's possible, so I do feel bad in judging his clothes. But I feel like it just adds to his personality, to be honest. I also don't think so, because the test he's getting requires health insurance, and he's getting it to renew his CDL. I feel like I know his life story now. He was like staring me down as I passed him, but I stayed in conversation with my friend and kept walking. During my workout, I could hear him just talking to anyone that would listen for as long as he could. Finally, I clock in and I'm sitting at the desk with a few off-clock coworkers talking about random stuff, and suddenly he's there, silently staring at all of us. My coworker goes, "Can we help you?" And he says, "Not really," and launches into the same exact conversation he was trying to have last night. I felt bad, but we all just dispersed because the other guys said he does the same thing to them. I'm at work now, and I finally had to hide from him in the bathroom again until he left the front desk because he was hovering there waiting for me to be done talking to my coworker. But mind you, that's almost 3+ hours at the gym, and he is not working out for most of those hours. I think he finally left, but oh my god, I'm just amazed that he really abused his power as a customer to make us talk to him or listen to him for 2 days' worth of shifts. 2. So I've worked in retail for about 5 years, which has not only done irreversible damage to my psyche, but has also provided me with some great stories. I have never considered posting them anywhere, but after seeing a story that reminded me of something similar that happened to me, I figured maybe it would be worth a shot. So at the time, I was working at a store that sold cosmetics as their primary wares, and some of these cosmetics got quite pricey, which often led to a bit of crazy behavior from the customers. On this particular day, we were coming off a month-long sale where different items would be half off for every day of the month. We did a lot of business with these sales, as sometimes the items on sale would be pretty decent stuff for the incredibly decreased price. We also did a lot of returns because people would buy things they didn't really want due to them being so heavily discounted. Which is fine, because as long as you bring back the merchandise within 60 days, we will take it back for a full refund. A woman who looked to be pretty young, maybe in her early 30s, approached our registers. Our entitled customer. She had a large box full to the brim with different products in varying states of use. She plopped the box right down at my till. "I need to make a return. Everything is on different receipts, but I have all of them." "No problem. It might take me a minute just to match all the receipts up to the correct items." She nodded, giving a little sigh, like that wasn't exactly the answer she was looking for. I got to work sorting through the box and scanning things in. It took a while to get even halfway through the box. I had to call one of my co-workers to the front to keep the line moving while I processed the return. I had tried to make polite conversation with her as I did, but she didn't seem to be up for talking much as she scrolled through on her phone and dug through her purse, which I understood. Not everyone likes small talk. I certainly don't, but it's my job. As we're nearing the end of the transaction, I found a few foundations in the bottom of the box that looked to be brand new. They were Lancome foundations. Anyone who knows about makeup will know this already. But these are almost $60 products. They were items sold recently in our half-off sale. I assumed she had done what most had and just made the purchase she hadn't really wanted, and now needed to turn them back into us. "And are these products used at all?" "What? Oh, yeah, they are." I sighed, looking at the seals still intact on both bottles of product. I was gonna have to destroy both bottles of a brand new product. Once the customer says they're used, I can't contend them. Despite my frustration, I scan them in and drop them in the box of products I'll need to destroy once the transaction is complete. The products ring in for half the original price because she still had in fact purchased them during the sale. The computer and her receipt proved as much. Just as I'm about to grab the next product from her mystery box of returns, she speaks up. Excuse me? You rang that up wrong. Those foundations are $58 each." "Oh, I'm sorry. You actually purchased these during our holiday sale for half off, so that's why they rang up that way." "That's ridiculous. That's not what they're worth. Just give me my money back." "Don't worry, you'll get all your money back. It's only not $58 each. You paid $29 for them." "Well, they're full price now, so you can just go ahead and give me the full price back." "Okay, I can't really do that because you didn't pay full price for them." "That literally doesn't make any sense. They're full price now, so I need that money back." "All right. I unfortunately can't give you money back that you never gave us because our registers would come up short." "How do you even know I bought them during the sale? You didn't check me out, so you have no idea." "The barcode on your receipt calls back all that information for me. It's logged in the computer. The computer knows you bought it during the sale." "Whatever. This is stupid. Just finish my return. I need to get home." I nodded and finished up the last few returns. Without much more incident, I finished scanning and sent her on her way. However, she didn't leave. She went into the store to do some shopping. I went over to the garbage can behind our counter to destroy the products that needed to be damaged out. My coworker, who I had called up earlier, was still settled there and started to help me destroy things. "So what was that lady saying to you?" "Oh, she just had a bunch of returns. I don't know. She wanted a full refund for something she only paid half price for, so I had to tell her a couple of times we couldn't do it for her." That was it, really. Just as I finished my sentence, the woman popped out from behind the first aisle across from the registers. She looked like her head was about to start spinning with how mad she was. At this point, I was completely lost at why she was huffing and puffing. "Oh, so you had to explain things to me, like I'm stupid or something. That's what you're telling your little friends back here?" "What?" I didn't even get what she was talking about fully, since she popped out of nowhere. "That's exactly what I thought. I'm gonna find your manager so she can know what a bitch you are to paying customers. I'm gonna have your job by the time I leave." I didn't respond to her, only looked at her strangely, as I was still a little confused. Me and my colleague watched her as she stormed into the back of the store. My colleague was just as confused as I was. Plenty of people were staring now that she had screamed bloody murder at the front of the store. I don't really do well with confrontation, so the unwanted attention made me tear up a little. I escaped to the back to quickly wait it out to see what happened. It was about 5 minutes before my manager came back to talk to me. "All right, OP, tell me about what happened." I proceeded to tell her the whole story. "Yeah, that's what your colleague said too. What she told me didn't sound like something you would do, so I figured there had to be a bit of embellishing somewhere." "What did she say I did?" "Well, she said that you called her an effing idiot for having to explain our return policy several times, and then made fun of her with your colleague when you thought she was out of earshot. She told me if I was smart I would fire you. Obviously I'm not going to do that. I just needed to know if something happened." And then I waited patiently in the back for the woman to leave so I wouldn't have to see her again. 3. I keep telling myself that despite the rough year I've had, I still like my job. I don't mind monotony, the endless shelf-filling, or the day-to-day grind. I enjoy the routine. But today tested me like no other day has. I've worked at my store for 4 years. I could write a whole post on the past year I've had here. But this one is just today. I come in, get the vibe of the store busyness, head to the back and evaluate what needs to be done. Seeing the back room is pretty organized, I head to dairy and fill the milk, eggs, and check the dips for stock. Then I head to the floor to see if top stock needs to be done. As I'm doing so, I see a manager is doing it. Amy, mid-30s. I'm 27 and female. And since she seems to have a handle on it, I ask her what else she'd like me to do. She walkie-talkies the store manager, also a woman in her 30s. She says fill gallon waters and work the specialty food pellets in the back. On it. Filled water. Done. But before I could start on the food pellets, I get called to fill a cart for our online pickup orders. On it. Takes an hour. This is normal. Got the customer's groceries. Done. Immediately, as I finish announcement, grocery truck is here. Have to supervise the drop-off and sign for it. On it. Done. Grocery driver leaves. Milk truck drives past, also ready to drop off. On it. Get a jack. Pull the milk pellets into the cooler. Signed for. Done. Milk driver leaves. Frozen truck drives past. Rinse, repeat. Pallets into freezer. Signed. Done. At this point, everything has been very routine for me. Pulling truck, signing, stocking for dairy, online orders. Sprinkle in the odd register to help checkout. Non-stop and yes, stressful, but I got it. I go in the cooler to fill the milk again, immediately stopped by the other manager, a 50-year-old male. Multipack water pallets need condensing. Oh, also, Ms. Big Boss District Manager is here for a visit. Great. He helps me fill up the pallets, very thankful for his help. The store manager calls me to the back dock to downstack frozen pallets for our meat department. On it. Got it. Done. I take the odd pallet they don't need to the freezer. At this point, it's past 5 o'clock, and I'm an hour past due for my break. I have a mental list of everything I still need to do. As I am closing the freezer, a bit winded and putting the jack away, Amy comes by and said, "Store manager wants you to fill vitamin D milk and decaf tea gallons." "I know, I'm going to," I said back, and begin to head my way to the milk cooler again. "Hey, the Sunwise," she said. "Yeah?" I stopped and looked at her. "It's my job to tell you what to do, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't have an attitude about it." I stared at her, befuddled for a moment. "Yeah?" She nodded at me. "What? No, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to have an attitude," I explained, honestly feeling pretty confused. "You sure?" "Yeah, of course, I wouldn't. It seemed like you had an attitude." "I'd never, that wasn't, no." I fumbled out, flustered. "Yeah, okay, then we're good," she says, giving me a thumbs up, and then leaves. What? I finally make my way back to the milk cooler, confused and honestly a bit upset. Attitude? Did I have an attitude? I can have my bad days and be snippy, but this wasn't one of them, and I don't take those days out on management. I had been in a good mood up until that moment. What does having an attitude even mean? It sounds like something you say to an ordinary teenager or child. I wouldn't consider Amy to be my favorite manager. I don't try to disrespect her. I can tell she tries her best. But this is not the first time she said something similar to "it's my job to tell you what to do." I don't know why, but this time it genuinely hurt. Like the feeling you have when you think someone doesn't respect you, and then that thought is confirmed. You get really sad, and then you get really angry at how BS it is. So there I was, having some sort of crisis while filling eggs, about if I'm a good worker or not, just crying. And then I get angry at how she spoke to me, how goddamn unprofessional it was. I bust my butt all day pulling these trucks. She's admitted she doesn't know how to do. She appreciates all my hard work and didn't know what all I did. But I have an attitude. Screw that, screw this. I find the other manager and tell him how she spoke to me. He looked tired. He said he'll talk to her. He'll handle it. Says I'm a hard worker and to go take my break. I did after I finally filled the freaking milk. I had a good cry while I worked on the specialty food pellets. Then the day went by in a flash. I didn't hear back from them, don't know what will happen. As I've calmed down, I can only assume she was stressed, 'cause the district manager was there and needed to assert some sort of authority, and I just happened to be around. Now I'm just tired. So very, very tired. 4. Sometimes it just gets too much being treated like crap in a retail job. The amount of times that I've been belittled to my face and made to feel useless and stupid by customers is starting to really get to me. A bit of background. I've been working with the public since I was 17 years old. I'm 22 now, and still in post-secondary school pursuing a good career that I'm so excited about. Obviously, tuition requires quite a bit of money, and although my parents and family help me a lot, I try to work as much as I can to contribute and keep myself busy. I started at McDonald's in my small hometown, as many do, and I've also worked in tourism, makeup retail, and most recently clothing retail. 5 years of being made to feel like I'm stupid by every age, gender, race, you name it. It starts to get really draining, and I hate how bitter it's making me inside. I'm in a mindset now, just feeling instantly irritable whenever I have to work. I'm working full-time right now as a manager, since my school program doesn't start until early next year. So I'm stuck dealing with the same stupid crap every shift for 40 hours a week. I hate being irritable, I hate feeling angry, and I hate when I end up accidentally snapping at a customer, because my patience is just completely gone. I'm just not an angry or unhappy person by nature, and sometimes at or after work, I have these rage-filled thoughts, and it scares me because I'm terrified one day I'll truly lose it and scream at a customer or something. I don't like the person retail turns me into. I hate getting home from work and being so drained from dealing with people that I can't even do anything I enjoy. I just feel numb, and I end up showering and going to bed because I don't have energy for anything else. To make things even better, the city that I work in has 2 Facebook groups with the city name, Hits and Misses, where people post every single day about good experiences at restaurants, stores, etc. But far more people post about supposedly unfair things that happen. Example, old people hitting self-checkouts, so I'm constantly paranoid that someone is going to post something about me if I'm not perfectly polite to them. And it keeps me awake, scrolling through the groups and making sure I'm not there. Here's some more specific things I'm so sick of. People throwing tantrums expecting us to bend corporate return policies just because they didn't take the time to look it up beforehand. I have often used my override to help someone if they're being polite and understanding, but definitely not if someone is treating me like garbage. People leaving half-empty Starbucks drinks, food wrappers, etc., laying around or handing them to me and expecting me to throw them away. When I worked in fast food I didn't care, but if I'm literally folding clothes in the fitting room, I don't want to touch your nasty garbage, and I have to go out back, rinse the cup, and throw it away. People getting mad because items that have been popular for weeks are magically sold out, because they waited until the last possible second to buy them. People getting insanely offended when we ask for an email or phone number so they can earn rewards and have a digital receipt. We're just trying to help them save the headache down the line for a return and maybe earn a few coupons and stuff along the way. But people are so quick to snap and complain that everywhere sends them emails nowadays, etc., etc. people getting angry if we tell them we don't know the price of something off the top of our head. This happened to me today, and I kindly said, because my arms were full of clothes, "Oh, they can look up the price with the tag inside at cash for you." And the lady mocked me and laughed and said, "So, I have to wait in line. You don't know the price?" I told her she didn't have to be rude, and then she said, "Well, okay, I'll just find someone else," and acted like the victim. And I'm left feeling guilty, and I won't sleep tonight worrying that it'll come back to haunt me. This same woman had been talking to me like I'm a piece of dirt twice beforehand, then expected me to be all buddy and cheerful and kiss her feet, because who wouldn't be insanely excited to just throw all the clothes on the floor and bow down to her every need immediately? I have so much more I'd need to get off my chest, but I honestly can't type anymore. If you listen to all this, I salute you. 5. One evening, at approximately 10 p.m., I answered the phone to hear an elderly woman demand to know if I lived in the town the shop was in. I told her I did, in a confused tone. The caller then asked if I knew where a certain street was. I replied, "All I know is that street is over by the cemetery." She then angrily asked if we had a street map of the town, when I stated, in a confused tone, "No, we do not have any paper maps here." The caller aggressively demanded to know why. When I explained that I suspected that we did not have any printed maps because we did not do deliveries, the caller asked if I could do an internet search for her. I stated, "No, sorry, because I do not have the computer's passcode." The caller demanded that I telephone somebody who could give me the passcode, to which I replied, "No, I will not be bothering the owner at home for something like this, especially not so late at night." The caller angrily asked for a more specific reason as to why I was not willing to give the owner a jingle to get the computer passcode, to which I emphatically replied, "You're aggressively demanding that I bend over backwards to do a service for you that most liquor stores do not provide. Not gonna happen." To this day, I'm still not sure who hung up on whom first. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to Adventures in Fast Food and Retail, episode 180. I really should breathe more when saying that. And thank you very much to everybody who allowed me to use their stories in this video. Before you go, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button, as it does encourage YouTube to let other people view the video, puts them in recommended and such, and it's something we kind of struggle with a little here. And if you'd like to get the videos a little bit early, then you can support me through Patreon, which is linked in the description. A couple of bucks a month does help a lot. And if you'd like to get yourself some Hellfreezer merchandise, that is also linked in the description. It's a Teespring store. I don't know how you feel about Teespring, but that's the one I'm on currently. And you can also make donations during streams and videos like this one. Well, you don't have to. I appreciate it, and it helps me out. Okay, let's see. No other business for now, so let's move right along to Hellfreezer's question of the day. And today's question is, how much pizza is too much pizza? Now, for me, the ones I used to get, I think, were about 14 inches. It was deep pan, had barbecue sauce, and it was chicken, bacon, and mushrooms. Very yummy. And that'd be like a weekly or a bi-weekly treat, depending on when my days off fell. And that for me was like the perfect size. I'd also probably get some snacks to go along with that to nibble later. And this is what I would have as just kind of relaxing. As I say, it wasn't something I ate on the regular, but it was something I would have relaxing on a night off to make the most of a night off. But that was like the perfect size for me. I don't know if I could eat anything bigger. But you might differ, so why don't you let me know what you think in a comment below. And with that, I'm going to head off for now. So until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourself.